Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard Cisneros at your service. Today I'll be reading the June 20th Daily Inspiration, the condensed version. It's 2 paragraphs long. Then I'll center myself, say a little prayer, and then make a couple comments on the message. And if you find the message of use, please be so kind as to like the video. Thank you for that. Here we go. The title, Returning to the State of Oneness. Paragraph 1. We are all one. As unconscious as it may sometimes appear to be, we have all made a spiritual commitment to each other to find, become, and express our oneness, the love and sameness that unites us all. That's sameness, S-A-M-E. We are here to help each other find out how we can best use the unique expression of love that we are to help heal this world. Our individual passions, what we love and take joy in doing, are all expressions of oneness and of our mission on this planet. We best serve this world when we are feeling free and being our own unique expression of oneness. By exemplifying our unique expression of oneness, we then free others to do the same. When others feel free to become their unique expression of oneness, they no longer feel alone, unfulfilled, confused, or joyless, and they increasingly awaken to their true nature. Paragraph 2. Today, let us be at peace and remember that because God is love and all, we can in truth never be anywhere but at one with the divine. To be one with God, let us learn to recognize some of the signs of oneness and separateness. When at one with God, love shines through us and into the world. Some of love's expressions are passion, joy, peace, compassion, forgiveness, and understanding. When we forget our true nature, we become aligned with the ego's false concept of separateness. Some of the signs of separateness are judgment, anger, resentment, hate, feeling anxious, and despair. Today, if we find ourselves not moving in the direction of oneness, let us simply take a deep breath, recognize that we're headed in the wrong direction, forgive ourselves for our misperceptions, align with our loving nature, and choose once again. Okay, returning to the state of oneness. Today I'm going to make 5 points that I trust will assist us in the implementation of this message. Point number 1. Let us remember that our goal today is this oneness, is to be aligned with the mind of God, which is love. And so all those people that we think about, that we interact with, everything is being created today to help us practice uniting with oneness, being that oneness. And the more we become that oneness, let's say, for example, a brother or sister judges you, and you, instead of judging them back, you forgive them. Because forgiveness is an aspect, an expression of love. It fulfills that oneness. It is an expression of that oneness. And so that brother and sister helped you practice remembering that you're oneness. And the more you get to practice remembering that you're oneness, the more oneness you become during the day. And so thank you, brother and sister, for judging me because it helped me practice forgiveness and thus unite with oneness. So that's point number 1. Everybody in your life today is here to help you remember who you truly are, that oneness, that love that God is. Point number 2. Okay, as we mentioned in point number 1, God is love, and so oneness is His love. And so any expression of love brings you back to oneness, helps you become that light in the world in that moment. And so when you're doing what brings peace to your mind, when you're doing what brings joy to your heart, when you're doing what you're passionate about, all those expressions and actions bring you back to oneness, help you reflect that oneness to everyone and all. And in doing so, you help remind them that there is a better way, a way to remember, a better, kinder, more compassionate way to remember who they truly are and who they came here to be, simply through your expression of oneness. And so that's point number 2. Whatever expression of love you give out into the world, what brings peace to your mind, joy to your heart, those are expressions of oneness. So that is point number 2. Point number 3. Let us use all those expressions of oneness that are unique to us to serve others. Because again, we're all one, right? And so whatever you offer them, you reinforce within yourself. And so when you're serving them, you're actually healing yourself. When you're saying to them that they're worthy of forgiveness and compassion and kindness and joy and peace, you're reinforcing that in you. All those emotions and words and thoughts are flowing through you to them. All those words, thoughts, emotions are healing you as you heal them. And so when you're expanding that oneness to your brothers and sisters, that love, that forgiveness, that compassion, that mercy, that grace, when you're being of service to them, you're also healing yourself. So thank them for being in your life, for giving you the opportunity to in some way, shape, or form, help them grow, heal, and awaken. And as you do so, you will feel fulfilled because you're doing what you were created by God to do, to serve your brothers and sisters, to be that light at the end of the tunnel, to remind them that there is a better way to recall who they in truth they are, so that they can serve this world. That's point number 3. Point number 4, okay. God is love and all, God is just oneness. And so this oneness is in every moment, in every situation. You're always just a choice away from uniting with your oneness. And so no matter how dark or complicated or challenging the ego says that your story is, whatever that story you're believing, you're always one choice away from coming back to oneness. When you're in judgment or anger or frustration or resentment or hate, whatever delusional story the ego's trying to sell you, you can forgive and come back to oneness. You can have compassion and come back to oneness. You can choose peace and come back to oneness. And so no matter how stuck you think you are in this story, remember, you're always one choice away from uniting with your oneness and being who you were created by God to be, the light of the world. So that's point number 4. Remember that God is love and all, and so oneness is always just one choice away, no matter how complicated the ego is making the story. And the last point, it's useful to recognize, practice recognizing those expressions of oneness and those expressions of separateness. Okay, those expressions of oneness, because God is love and all, this is true. Separateness is not true. This is all, this is nothing. This is real, this is a lie. But we've been programmed to believe the lie is true. So it's useful to note those expressions that seem to separate us from oneness, which is impossible, obviously, because it's all. And so whenever you're judgmental, angry, resentful, hateful, lack compassion, in despair, worried, anxious, fearful, doubtful, all those are expressions of separateness. All those are just lies that the ego has programmed you to believe as true. And so when these things happen, don't let them sink you deeper into the darkness, okay? Simply recognize, okay, I'm not here to do that today. I'm here simply to recognize, okay, this is not, point number 5, this is not me. Separateness is not what I'm here for. All these emotions are not what I'm here to do today. I'm here to represent oneness. So I'm going to use these emotions and energies of separateness, not to sink deep into the darkness, but to trigger in me the recollection that I'm one choice away from oneness, that I can choose peace instead of this and come back to oneness, that I can forgive the story and come back to oneness. And so now we use the delusions of the ego not to fall further to the darkness, but instead to trigger in us the reminder that we're here to be one, that we're here to reflect oneness on earth, the light on earth, the love on earth. And we're here to guide our brothers and sisters to remembering that they don't need the story, that they can let the story go. And in doing so, return to who they truly are, the light of the world that God created them to be. And in doing so, they will feel more fulfilled, more joyful, and more at peace. All right, so that's point number 5. Recognize the symbols and signs of separateness And of course, oneness, we already talked about, all the expressions of love. Thank you very much for your time. I love you very much. And God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Peace.